Welcome back to our video-on-demand candidate interviews on WMMBAM.com. This one, Democratic Sheriff's candidate Adrian Moss Beasley. Adrian, thank you so much for being here. It's good to see you again.
Well, thank you, Bill, for having me.
Let's talk about why you're in this sheriff's race. What prompted you to run? What do you want to do if you are elected sheriff here?
I'm in this race, Bill, because I wanted to make sure that every Brevard County voter this year had an opportunity to express who they wanted their next sheriff to be. I'm running as the people's sheriff. And what do I mean by the people's sheriff? I'm running as the people's sheriff because I believe that all of our citizens should have the protection of the sheriff's office. I believe that is a philosophy that I'm going to bring to the sheriff's office to make sure that relationships are built in our communities along with our citizens and our business owners.
You seem to have, throughout your campaign, going back to the primary, a heavy emphasis on community involvement for your department. That what community policing before it came a buzzword for money, being out, being part of the community, knowing the people, knowing the people in the neighborhoods, knowing the business owners, and having that kind of relationship. Is that what we're talking here?
Absolutely. I believe that's law enforcement 101. You have to have relationships with the people that you serve. The folks here in Brevard County, they want to know who their deputies are. They want to know who their sheriff is. And if I'm so elected, they will know who their sheriff is because they'll find me in the community. And that's where I want our deputies back, in the community, with the stakeholders, with the business owners, with the nonprofits, learning what their needs are. Because the crimes that affect our citizens in Barefoot Bays are not the crimes that we see in Merritt Island. Mm-hmm. Every community is different. But I want our deputies also to attend those homeowners associated meetings so they can meet the residents and find out what crimes are actually occurring within that community.
That's what those concerns are there.
Absolutely.
You also, in the radio interview, and I want to give you an opportunity to do this a little bit while we're together here on the video interview, tied the community policing idea also into school resource officers because that's a big part of diverting these kids from what could be a bad path for some of them.
Yes. Absolutely. I believe that our next sheriff is going to have to think outside the box. And I plan on doing that. I plan on instituting a program through a collaboration of not only the sheriff's office, but the state attorney's office, the public defender's office, our judiciary, because we know education is the key. And this program is going to be to thwart truancy here in Brevard County. I believe that's very, very important because if a young person does not receive a high school diploma, we already know where that road ends. So we have to make sure that our kids do not fall through the gap. And I want to make sure that as sheriff that I am there to make sure that we protect our most precious resource, which is our kids here in Brevard County.
You know, when I was still on the job through the late 80s and early 90s, I saw a growing trend of younger and younger kids becoming involved in more violent crimes, the heavy drug trade, those kind of things. Are we seeing that in Brevard today? Is there something to be addressed there?
Of course, in every community, we see that. Here in Brevard County, we have more of your property crimes with our kids. Some are involved with violent crimes, but as a whole, it's more property crimes. We see that a lot of our kids are now using prescription pills for some strange or odd reason. But we have to make sure that we have programs and mechanisms in place to help our kids. Not only as your next sheriff am I going to be after the bad guy and arrest those who break the law, but we have to temper that on the other side with helping as well, because I believe that our sheriff has to do both.
All right, very good. Let's talk for a little bit. If you're elected to this office, you're going to be responsible for staffing allocations and where people are assigned, how they're assigned. Do you foresee changes to precincts or assignments or the way that the sheriff's office covers the county and protects it from what it does right now?
Right now, I believe that our current sheriff, Sheriff Parker, who is a wonderful person, I believe that he's done a tremendous job making sure that the county is saturated, covered with deputies to make sure that our citizens are safe here in Brevard County. I have no plans on restructuring this organization to a point where it's drastic. I want to make sure that everyone is doing their job effectively and efficiently. And when I take office, we will undergo that process in reference to performing an audit. And where we can save money and reallocate funds, then we'll do that.
All right, but you feel like the assignments as they are now, the precincts, the way they're created, where your guys are working right now, it's working for the county. And that's
right now, that
do.
is sufficient.
Okay. What about those budgetary things? Are the men and women in the Sheriff's Department, are they adequately equipped? Are they as safely equipped as they can be? Are there changes you'd like to see there?
I believe so. There's always room for improvement, of course. But what we have right now is wonderful technology. We have wonderful equipment. It's up to date. Sheriff Parker has made sure of that. And if anything, I would like to enhance that. I would like to get better radios, better in-car video systems for our deputies.
What about continuing professional education for the men and women of the department? Is that at a level where you'd like to see it? Has it been serving the men and women of the department and therefore the citizens well? Are there enhancements there you'd like?
I would like to enhance that. But in order to enhance that, our first priority is making sure that we have enough men and women on the streets patrolling to keep our citizens safe. And the only way that we can send more of our deputies to schools, to training, is to make sure that our squads are staffed appropriately so we can send more people to trainings. And in order to do that, I believe that we have to systematically go through the budget and make sure that we have enough patrol people, enough deputies to make sure that we can take advantage of those opportunities when they arise.
Are there enough men and women sworn on the department right now, or do we need more deputies serving this county right now?
We need more deputies. Brevard County is growing. It's at 500,000 citizens right now, so it is definitely growing. And what I plan on doing as sheriff is making sure that everything is being run properly and being efficient and effective. We got to make sure that we also look at areas where we can reallocate some funds. I believe the sheriff's budget right now is sufficient. I do not plan on asking the county commissioners for another dime, but I believe that we can reallocate some of those funds so we can hire more deputies and have a good faith-based initiative to communicate to our county commissioners that we are stepping forward. We are saving in certain areas in order for us to put more patrol deputies on the street. Because I believe that's very, very important.
One of the things that the sheriff's responsible for is operating the jail in Brevard, and we briefly hit on it during the radio show. Let me give you a little time to expand on what you'd like to do as the sheriff with jail operations. There's some very good programs there. What would you like to see happening at the jail?
The jail is a very unique place. Right now we have over 1,600 inmates incarcerated at our detention center there in Sharps. And I believe that we can do a lot. As sheriff, I definitely plan on performing an audit on the jail to see where we can possibly save money. Right now, I know for sure that a water bill at our jail the water is actually costing between $50,000 and $60,000 a month.
That's a chunk of change.
That's a lot of money for water. So we have to perform an audit to see what's going on there, to see why that water bill is so high. Also, I definitely love that Paws and Stripes program that we have there at the jail. But also there's a tent that's not being utilized there at our facility. And what I would like to do as sheriff, I would like to partner with these nonprofit organizations right here in Brevard County and to partner with our state attorney's office and judiciary branch here in Brevard County to see if we can turn that vacant fourth tent at our jail into a treatment center for those individuals within our jail system who want to do a 90 or 120-day sentence from the judiciary in order for them to get off of those prescription pills or AA or Narcotics Anonymous. Because as we know, the recidivism rate is high here in Brevard County, and we want to get away from just people coming into the system, getting released, going out, potentially making more victims in Brevard County, then going back through the same system. If those individuals are at a point in their life where they want help, I think it's incumbent upon us to have something in place while they're doing their incarceration, during their sentence, where they have an opportunity to be in a program right there, a secure program where they can't leave and get the help that they need.
All right, very good. I want to get into one other area, and we've talked partnerships, task force work. We're talking relationships with other departments within the county. And there are naturally some politics at play anytime some of that goes on, building those relationships and having those associations. Give me your philosophy on working with these other agencies and how you might best combine efforts to fight crime in all of Brevard.
I believe that we have to have a partnership with our brothers and sisters in other locales in law enforcement, because crimes don't only occur in cities. What happens is, if a crime occurs in Cocoa, then within 5 minutes that individual can be on Merritt Island. Mm-hmm. So we have to make sure that not only are we sharing information on an administrative level, but we also have to make sure that at the patrol level we are sharing information with our officers along with our deputies. We have the technology now where if a crime occurs in the city limits of Titusville, within a few minutes we can put that on a computer system and it goes throughout the whole entire county in a matter of minutes. And we definitely have to utilize that technology, because like I said, if a bank in Vieira is unfortunately robbed, then that individual could be going to Titusville to rob another bank. And unfortunately, that has happened within our communities. Mm-hmm. But it's all about sharing the technology, sharing the information, because we are at an information age that people need information right now. As the next sheriff, I plan on having a Twitter account to make sure that information is tweeted out to anyone that will be linked into the sheriff's office Twitter account, because that's how we're going to be able to solve crimes. It all comes back to the relationships that we have with our community, the dignity and respect that we treat our citizens with. So they'll be more apt to assist their sheriff's office in solving crimes.
All right, very good. If folks need to reach you, have questions about your campaign or what you would be doing as sheriff, is there a best way for folks to reach Adrian Moss Beasley? Oh,
absolutely. I have a web page. It's Adrian, Adrian, Moss, Moss, Beasley, Beasley, the number 4, sheriff.com.
All right. Adrian Moss Beasley, always a pleasure, my friend. Good to have you in
Bill,
here.
Thank you for having me. It has been a pleasure. And remember, a year ago, you would not have thought you would have been sitting here talking to a fellow mountaineer about running here.
That's exactly right.
It's an awesome occasion, and we'll definitely have to make sure that Mountaineer Nation knows about this.
Absolutely right. We'll get it out to them. That's for sure.
All right, wonderful.
Thanks for being here on WMMVAM.com. We've got more. Keep checking back here. More candidates to come.